Okay, so we shall start with any questions over midterm, day 1 or day 2, or both.
Can you go over question 1 of midterm day 1?
Sure. Day 2 key. Oh, I think it's over there. I think I remember seeing it. That'd be fine. All right, question 1, day 1. Evaluate x minus y cubed times quantity 2x minus 4y. And we're told that x equals negative 2 and y equals 5. So what should we do?
Substitute for x and y?
Substitute for x and y sounds like a good idea. Making sure that we put parentheses, right? So that we don't make extra sign mistakes. Excuse me. So we put a negative 2 here, and a 5 here, and a negative 2 here, and a 5 here. So what are we going to do first?
Multiplying the 2 and negative 2 for 5 and do the 5 cubed.
Yes. We could do the multiplication inside the parentheses and the 5 cubed. Now negative is outside. It doesn't really matter because it's cubed, right? It's going to turn out negative either way because it's an odd exponent. Right, so that negative is going to stay no matter what. What is 5 cubed? 125. And then what's 2 times negative 2? Negative 4. And then what's negative 4 times 5? Negative 20. Easy peasy. So what then? Which one?
Both of them do negative 2 minus 125 and negative 4 minus 20.
Sorry, I realized, remember that I had to respond to an email real quick. Yeah, the negative 4 minus 20. And what did you say?
Negative 2 minus 125.
No, we can't do that subtraction. Why can't we do that? Yes, because it's multiplied and all that stuff. So we can't do that. That's an easy mistake to make, but that is, can't do that one because it's stuck. So we can only do this one, get negative 24. Because multiplication comes before addition subtraction, right? So what is negative 125 times negative 24? It's okay, I'll wait. Y'all have calculators. 3,000. So the final answer is positive 2,998. Any other questions from the midterm? Either day.
Problem 6, why would it not be impossible? Because don't you have to multiply 2 times the 8 and 4 times the 12? Or is that
Number 6 on the day 2, you mean? Bruh. It's probably because it's addition or something. But let me look. There it is. Number 6, you said? Number 6 is not impossible because it's a 2 by 2 times a 2 by 4. The middle ones match. Definitely not impossible. What other questions from the midterms do we have?
Can we do day 2, problem 1?
Day 2, problem 1. Hello, Mrs. Vengeful, whoever you are. Solve the system by the method of your choice. There is an easier method choice for this question. What is the easiest method for this question and why?
Would it be elimination?
Why?
Because it's
Negative y and y. They're already set up opposites, so you just have to add them. Ready, go, right? X plus 2x is 3x. Y minus y cancels. 6 plus 4 is 10. Now what? Divide by 3 on both sides. Easy peasy. X equals 10/3. Substitute that 10/3 back in and solve for y and you're done. No problema. What other questions do we have for the midterm?
Can you do the midterm
Day 2, problem 17.
highlight 18.
I've been watching your videos for so long. I used to be trash at math, and I can't believe I've improved this much. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you have been helped. Number 17, you said? 18. Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. 18. The number 1 mistake on number 17 is the same as the number 1 mistake when we did it on the original test. Sometimes I don't know why I say stuff over and over again, because sometimes when I say stuff, it's useful, but y'all don't seem to listen. Number 17, you distribute the negative, and you do not randomly turn it into multiplication after that. You just combine like terms. Number 18, we got to do the conjugate. Let's do it. Over 2 minus I. So, we're supposed to simplify, and I already gave the cat out of the bag on what we're going to do. We're going to multiply by the conjugate. What is the conjugate? So, I was pleased as I graded this test. Many of you knew that you were supposed to multiply the conjugate, you just didn't remember what that was. So when you multiply the conjugate, you don't just multiply times the denominator. So you don't just do 2 minus I over 2 minus I, you got to do 2 plus I. And then you've also got to distribute it correctly, right? So we weren't, as a class and as a whole, completely off, which was good because I've seen this problem go like nobody knows what the heck they're doing. So we learned something. So to do the conjugate, it's the same as the denominator. You just flip that middle sign, right? So over 2 plus I over 2 plus I. Now, in the denominator, the outside and inside, remember when we do this, are always going to cancel out, always. So instead of FOIL, you just do full. Or if you want to do the whole FOIL and it cancels out, that's fine, right? That's no problem. In the numerator, we're going to distribute, right? What is negative 3I times 2? Negative 6I. Easy money. Please, math. 1/10 linear equations in 2 variables, please video. 1/10. I don't even know what you're talking about. If you're talking about doing linear equations in two variables, I have several videos on that. Just go look in the channel. In the Algebra 1 playlist is where you're looking. Okay, negative 6i. Negative 3i times I is what? Negative 3i squared. So the first, what's 2 times 2? 4. And the last, because outside and inside are going to cancel out because you're multiplying times conjugate, right? So negative I times I is what? Negative I squared. What does I squared equal? Negative 1. So it's going to flip the sign up there, flip the sign over there. So then we've got negative 6i plus 3 over 4 plus 1. Just need a little bit to clean it up and we're done. What do we need to do? 4 and 1 is 5. We're going to also split it. Does the real part go first or the imaginary part go first? Real part goes first. So it's going to be 3 over 5 minus 6i over 5. If you want to write that with the I over here, that's fine. Probably technically better, but either way is fine. Any other questions from the midterm?
Day 1, can you do 14?
Day 114. Sure. Find the equation of the line that meets the following conditions. Passes through the points 1, negative 2, and negative 3, 3. Some little kid just hauled there. Some other little kid, get in class. That's kind of hilarious. Okay, so in order to write the equation that passes through those 2 points, what are the things that we need to know? Slope and y-intercept. So we can find the slope directly, right? How do we find the slope? Slope formula. What is the slope formula? That's true. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right? What's going to go right here? 3. What about this one? Negative 2. What about that one? And this one? 1. Now what? Ka-chink, ka-chink in the numerator. I agree. What's 3 plus 2? And negative 3 minus 1? Negative 4. So the slope of our line is negative 5/4. Right? So now what? Sure. What is the slope-intercept form? That's the point-slope form. But y equals mx plus b is the slope-intercept form. We can use either one, right? To get to the answer, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Either one. Which one do y'all want to use? Wow, don't everybody have an idea at once. Calm down. B. Sure, that's fine. Y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept form. If we're going to use that one, which, words. What should we do? Pick one of the points. Which one? Great. What are we going to put in for y? What about m? What about x? Now what? So, yeah, what do you mean? A mistake I saw, I think a couple of papers, is we moved the -2 over for some reason. Probably because we're used to seeing the variable on the left. But we're trying to get the stuff off of the b. So you multiply 1 times -5/4, which of course is -5/4. That's easy money, right? And then you add 5/4 to both sides instead, right? So we add 5/4. -2 is -8/4, right? So it's -2 plus 5/4. -3/4. Okay, what's the one more thing we've got to do?
You got to plug it back into the equation.
Plug it back in. So our final answer is y equals -5/4 x minus 3/4. We potentially have time for 1 or 2 more from the midterm before we move on to today's stuff. Okay, I'll take the stunned silence as you got this. You can do corrections on midterm just like you can do corrections on any other test. The due date is ASAP just like always. Look at today's stuff. Unit 5.
I enjoyed this lesson.
Good. I'm glad you were enjoying the lesson.
I found it pleasurable.
That sounds weird, but I understand what you mean. We're on what? 5-3. Polynomial functions. And we did what numbers? 14 through 40 evens. Number 14, it's not a polynomial because there is a negative exponent. Number 16, the degree is 7. The leading coefficient is -21. 18, the degree is 5, and the leading coefficient is 3. 20, the degree is 2. The leading coefficient is -6. 22, the degree is 8. The leading coefficient is -2. 24, p of -6 is 546, and p of 3 is -93. Excuse me. 26, p of -6 is 2,322, and p of 3 is 9. 28, p of -6 is 2,232, and p of 3 is 153. What did we go through? 34? Oh, yeah. 48, is that what you said?
40.
Wow, y'all are hating on me. It's rude. Number 30 is -40a cubed plus 10a plus 5. Number 32 is -64a to the 6th plus 4a squared plus 1. 34 is 2y to the 4th minus 8y squared plus 9. 36a is something. Let me flip the page. (36a) as f of x approaches f of x approaches positive infinity as x approaches negative infinity, and f of x approaches negative infinity as x approaches infinity. 36b, since the end behavior is in opposite directions, it is an odd degree function. 36c, the graph intersects the x-axis at 1 point, so there is one real zero. 38, f of x approaches positive infinity as x approaches negative infinity. F of x approaches positive infinity as x approaches positive infinity. 38b, since the end behavior is in the same direction, it is an even degree function. 38c, the graph intersects the x-axis at no points, so there are no real zeros. 40a, f of x approaches negative infinity as x approaches negative infinity, and f of x approaches negative infinity as x approaches positive infinity. 40b, since the end behavior is in the same direction, it is an even degree function. 40c, the graph intersects the x-axis at 2 points, so there are two real zeros. What questions do you have? Sure. 26. I don't know what has happened to my whiteboard. Like all of a sudden, right before Christmas break, it started going nuts and it doesn't erase right anymore. I don't know what's happened. Very strange. It's probably y'all's fault. That seems reasonable.
This class specifically or just yours?
This class specifically, probably you. You said,
I'm just sitting here.
you said 26?
Yes.
Okay. P of x. P of x equals x to the 4th minus 4x cubed plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 24. And we're supposed to find P of -6 and P of 3. I don't remember. Have we already learned how to do this with synthetic substitution? Or nah? I feel like we did in the last unit, but that's fine. We can do it either way. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Did we learn how to do synthetic substitution in the last unit, or am I dreaming that? So yeah, probably did synthetic substitution. So we can solve these problems using synthetic substitution or just like the old-fashioned way. It doesn't matter. I would argue one is easier to do by hand and the other one is the old way. So what do we need to do? Sure, old way it is. Here we go. P of -6. We just substitute in. Wow, that was exciting. Whoa. What is happening right now?
Someone's not happy. Sending that many notifications.
Is that my thing? Is that my tablet or is that somebody else's phone? Gracie submitted late. Added a post. Why do I care? Nobody knows. Okay. What's -6 to the 4th? You still have calculators. True facts.
I brought the wrong calculator, so.
What calculator did you bring?
TI-84.
Great, pull it out and use it. It does multiplication and exponents. What did you say? 1,296. What is -6 cubed?
-216.
What is -6 squared?
36.
What's -5 times -6?
30.
Yes, it is. Great, now what?
Now you multiply both zeros.
Yeah, you do the multiplication, sounds good. What is -4 times -216?
864. 64.
What's 3 times 36?
108. 108.
What's 30 plus 24?
54.
Now what's all of those added up?
2,322.
Just to remind you that you can, how would we find P of 3 using synthetic substitution? Y'all remember from the last unit? We had Christmas. Well, you put the 3 in the little box, and then what's going to go over here?
1, -4.
Yeah, all of the coefficients, right? 1, -4, 3, -5, 24. Keeping in mind that if there's some missing, what do you have to do?
Then you have to put 0.
Put a 0, right? Now what?
Bring down the 1.
1 times 3 is 3. -4 plus 3 is -1. 3 times -1 is -3. 3 plus -3 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. -5 plus 0 is -5. 3 times -5 is negative, what am I saying? 15. 24 plus -15 is 9. What's the answer to P of 3?
1,000.
No. No, it's not all that as a number. One of those is the number, is the answer. 9. P of 3 is 9.
Whoa, that was easier.
Why is it 9?
Because of the theorem, I don't remember what it's called. Here it says when you do synthetic substitution, the remainder is the answer. Yeah.
There's not a helpful acronym for this one like there is for long division.
I didn't know there was a helpful acronym for long division.
There is. I don't remember what it was, but it helped me learn the first time.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad it did.
Tell us when you remember.
I will get back to you.
We do 32.
32, sure. Excuse me. This one we can't use synthetic substitution. Sad, because there's letters. So 32 says it wants to find d of 4a squared. And the relevant bit from the top is that d of x equals negative x cubed plus x plus 1. It also gives us c of x, but since we're looking for d of whatever, we don't care, right? So what do we do now?
Substitute 4 squared, right?
Mm-hmm. So substitute 4a squared wherever there's an x. Now what?
No, do you add the 2 exponents? I mean multiply them? Because they're,
Mm-hmm. What about the 4?
do you multiply times 5? I mean square. Put
You
it
mean
out.
cube it? Is that what you're trying to get out? Yes, you do cube it. What's 4 cubed? 64 it is. And then yes, you're right, you multiply the exponents when you have a power to a power, so a squared cubed is a to the 6th.
Oh yeah. Would it be?
They don't combine, there's no like terms, it's all done.
Negative 64 because there's a negative on the x up there.
Yeah, it would be. I didn't see that when I copied it down. Good catch. What other questions from this lesson do we have?
Can we do 40?
40, sure. Okay, let's take a picture. Put it up on the television screen. Shall we? Just use my phone, that's fine.
This one looks cool. I like this one.
Okay. I don't want to picture my face. What are you doing, you stupid machine? do like old people do. Take a selfie on accident. No comment from the peanut gallery. No comment at all. I'm not old, your mom's old. Although I might be about the same age as your mom, so, you know. No comment, still. See, you can make your mom jokes if they're like not offensive. See, smart. You gotta be smart.
That was just wrong, though.
Well, maybe.
My mom is 35.
Yeah, well, it was more of a joke on me, though, right? Because I was saying, I'm not old, your mom's old, and then I added, although I'm probably about the same age as your mom, whoever, whatever, because I have a child that's about y'all's age, so it's very likely that I'm the same age as your mom, and so it's mostly a joke on me. What the heck am I doing? I am turning this to not American pickers, to math. Nobody cares. He's got a, what?
No, you have a
Oh.
point, as in, I don't really care what television Jameson has seen.
Come on, smart view thing. Find it, please. We don't have all day. We're not here to watch TV. What?
What's even playing right now?
American Pickers. We've been over this.
Oh.
That's such a weird thing that with TV these days, like regular TV, where y'all probably haven't even like looked at regular TV, but like where it's not like used to be is like NBC and ABC, and now it's just American Pickers Channel, the Challenge Channel. Literally only ever plays one show. How does that even work? Okay, so there is the thing we are looking at. All right. And we are asked for parts A, B, and C. All right? Part A says describe the end behavior. So, as x approaches negative infinity, right? So as the graph goes that way, right? Is the graph going up or down or approaching some specific number? Down. So f of x, the function, approaches negative infinity as x approaches is negative infinity. What about the other way? As x approaches positive infinity. What does f of x approach? Negative infinity. So f of x approaches, what is happening? Approaches negative infinity. So the answer to A is this purple stuff. That's the end behavior, right? It's asking for the end behavior. That's what it's asking for. Okay. So for part B, determine whether it represents an odd or an even degree. All right, what are we looking for with that?
The number of times it crosses the x-axis.
No, that's the zeros.
But if it's an even number of real zeros, then
Yeah.
it's an even degree function, right?
Not necessarily.
But
You told us in the video.
yeah, you said that if it's
No, I did symbols like this. This is what happened.
You also did that. It was really funny.
He said walk like an Egyptian.
I probably did. No, if the end behavior is going the same way, it's even.
yeah,
If it's going opposite ways, it's an odd degree function.
yeah.
So for part B, this is an even degree function because it is approaching negative infinity in both directions, approaching the same way. Right. Now, the number of real zeros, it crosses the x-axis twice. So it has 2 real zeros. Right? It's even degree, we already said, because magic, and also it's going the same way. Right? Easy money? What other questions do we have from this lesson? 30? Okay. Oh, yeah. Number 30, more substitution. Whoa. Five times d of 2a. Now, this is confusing a little bit on this problem more than others because there's a lot of things that we need to know through context of what this means, right? Because this is we've got a multiplication and a function kind of all in the same notation, and so it looks like we're doing 5 times d times 2a, which is not what we're doing. Because we know through context that d is a function, so it's 5 times d of 2a. If I was writing this down, and normally I would probably use something like square brackets here to help me remember that that's one chunk, right? And then, so the d of 2a is a chunk, and then 5 times that is another chunk, right? So the 2a is what we end up substituting into x. Right, does this make sense? We following? This is a little bit. This is one of those places where the notation gets a little bit muddy. You have to understand through context clues what we're even talking about, right? So it's going to be 5 times d of 2a, and d of 2a we substitute in 2a for x. Right? So what do we need to do to clean this up?
2a cubed.
2a cubed. What is 2a cubed?
Negative 8a.
Well, the negative because of this, but yeah, 8a cubed, right?
Yeah.
Plus 2a plus 1. Now what? Distribute the 5. What's 5 times negative 8a cubed? Negative 40a cubed. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then what's 5 times 2a?
10a.
And then 5 times 1 is 5, right?
Yeah.
So not that difficult, just notation's a little bit wonky, right? Take a quiz, shall we? How's that sound? Great, grand, glorious? First quiz of the new year. There you go. Oh gosh, I almost died.